Good evening. This is Lyle. It is the 29th of February, 2024. Before I start, I just wanted to say to everybody, please get your cancer screenings done if somebody recommends one, or even if they don't sometimes. If you're eligible in an age group that says that it's good to have one done, get one done. My cancer was found in a colonoscopy screening. I had no real symptoms that I was aware of. Looking back, there's a couple things that might have been caused by it, but it's not, for sure. Anyway, mine ended up being a stage 3 locally advanced cancer to at least one lymph node, but not metastasized. So everything looks good for getting rid of this stuff in the next 6 months, hopefully. Anyway, these last 3 weeks have been just absolutely kind of crazy. On the 8th of February, my wife, Gisela, fell back, fainted, passed out, cold, doesn't remember a thing about it, hit her head and her tailbone hard on our nice wood floor up in the bedroom. It was so loud, I thought something major had fallen over. So when I called for her and she didn't answer, I ran upstairs and found she was getting up off the floor. And she didn't know how she got down there, but she knew she had it. And she was acting strange because she was repeating things and asking the same question many times. So it's kind of scary, but she said, "Oh, I'll be all right." I said, "We need to probably go to get this checked out." But by the next day, on Friday, she started having more episodes. She didn't ever pass out again, but she came close a couple of times. She shook pretty violently a couple of times. Just not normal. So by noonish time, I said, if there's one more of these, we're going to the emergency room. She didn't want to go. But finally, because she knew they'd keep her. And so anyway, we got her, had one more, 1223 or something, I think it was. And so we got in the car and drove up to Northwest Health, formerly Porter Regional Hospital, and went to the emergency room. They got her in right away, which was great. They checked her all out and then admitted her after, a few other she had a couple more episodes while she was there in the emergency room. So anyway, they got her up to her room, did all sorts of tests, ruled out neurological things, but found that she had a severe aortic stenosis. So her heart valve was calcified. And instead of the flaps opening up like normal, they only opened up 25%. So she was only getting 25% blood flow. Well, following that up, on the next Thursday, which was the, don't tell me, the 15th, she had an angiogram scheduled. During that angiogram, they found that her left anterior descending artery had a 90% blockage. And that's called the widowmaker, and that's a bad thing to have. So they were able to blast that, balloon it, and stent it. So then she was under 5 days where she couldn't do hardly anything at all, while the catheter openings in her arms and legs healed up from doing that procedure. So we go from there to I was supposed to have chemo on the 19th. But we also she had a CAT scan she had to do on the 19th. And we had appointments with the doctor on the 21st, as well as my chemo labs were supposed to be the Friday before. Well, they called and said they couldn't do it Monday because they had no chemo nurse certified. So they were going to do it Wednesday. So Wednesday was the 21st, the same day we had the appointment with the heart surgeons team. So my wife was, kind of hoping I'd be able to go, and it was at 3:00 in the afternoon. So I was thinking, well, if I've got a 7:30 chemo, I'll be done by hopefully noon, and I could be there, go with them. So anyway, I had my labs on Tuesday, the 20th, and they called back within 2 hours and said, nope, you're not going for chemo. Your white count has dropped to 2.0. It was 3.8 the week before. By contrast, my wife's white cell count today was 8.1. So she's doing really good. 4.8 is the bottom end of the scale. 10.8 is the top end of the scale. So 2 was a lousy number. And so my immune system was too compromised to go do chemo. So anyway, that worked out perfectly because then we just leisurely went to that appointment, met with the doctors. Again, they explained the differences between open heart and valve surgery. The problem was they had to find a valve small enough since she had a small anatomy. And so they were thinking open heart might be what they might have to do, but that would require a 7-day pre-admit or pre-surgery stay in the hospital because she's on blood thinners because of the stent. So anyway, we got that taken care of. We were told on that Friday that, we would definitely know something, one way or the other, something was going to happen on Wednesday. Well, Friday afternoon late, they called us after the doctors had had time after their surgeries scheduled that day. They got together and said they found a 20 valve, which is small enough for her. The 23 was the one they had thought of going with, but that could cause bursting of the aortic root, which would cause instant death, potentially like up to a 70% chance. So that wasn't a good idea. So anyway, they ruled out open heart, decided to go with the 20 valve, which is a good size for her. Still gives her a tremendous amount of flow compared especially to what she had now. So anyway, that went, and since I was not going to do chemo, everything was going along. So Monday we went and did the CT scan. Tuesday again I went in for labs, and this time I passed. I'm only up to 3.4, but still they said that's good enough. They don't want to delay chemo too much. So then her surgery was scheduled for 1:30 with an 11:30 arrival. Well, then they called back and changed it to an 8:30 a.m., 6:30 a.m. arrival. I thought, oh my gosh, that's ridiculous. So I had called the nurse at the hematology oncologist's office and said, hey, is there any way, first I want to make sure that I saw my tests were better. Is that good enough? And secondly, is there any way we can delay till Friday so I could be with my wife for her heart surgery? And she called back an hour later and said, yeah, we got it all scheduled 7:30 on Friday. So we went in for surgery yesterday. They finally changed it again. 12:30 surgery procedure, 10:30 arrival. We got there a little after 10. She didn't get into surgery until a little after 1 because the one ahead of her was a little complicated. I heard him talking to the people afterwards. They said that was the sickest person he's seen today and for a while. Anyway, so my wife was good to go. They came down, they got her surgery done. A little before 2:30, the surgeon came down and told us that everything went great. The valves working perfect, everything was good. And he explained to us that technically if they did open heart, they'd actually put in a 19 valve because that's what they do is the size roughly of the valves they do for implants on open heart. So she's getting good flow. Everything looks good. Her face looked red. Had more color in it than before, even last night. So they got her up. She had to sit in a chair for an hour. That was after I left last night. That was like 8 or 9 o'clock at night. And then she got to walk down the hall, go to the bathroom and things. And today I was coming in to see her, and she had an echocardiogram this morning and an ultrasound, and they determined that everything was good. The valve's not leaking. It's functioning properly. Everything's good. So I got there at, trying to think, a little after 10, I think, and they had just given her discharge paper. So she was getting ready to get dressed because she knew I was on the way. I texted her and said, hey, I got your Dunkin' Donuts coffee, so I'll be there in a little bit. And so I got there, got her dressed, and we got home, got her to take her home. It was about an hour trip home. So anyway, she's doing well. She did, right as she was trying to get dressed, one of the IV ports on her arm started bleeding out. So they had to come press it quick and put another bandage on that and hold it down until it quit bleeding. But that's probably because she's on some blood thinners. So everything else is good tonight. She's already up in bed because she's just pretty exhausted still from the whole thing and still a little effects of the anesthesia. So anyway, everything, all the entry ports look good. The catheter shot in the groin, as well as she had 3 different ports. She had port and 2 IVs in one arm and an IV in the other arm. So she was wired for sound. But anyway, so everything went well. And luckily, because of the not having the chemo for almost 3 weeks now, it's been easier for me to take care of everything for her while she was out. She couldn't do anything during this time because there was a risk of sudden death. So they told her just do nothing, and it killed her to do nothing, but still. Anyway, we're doing well now as far as she's concerned. Hopefully she'll continue to heal from this and get back energy she didn't even know she had before, because this has been going on for a long time. This is not something that just happened. And so it's been just a steady decline until it got to be so bad that, something had to be done. So anyway, hopefully tomorrow chemo goes well. And at least I don't have to worry about her getting up and passing out, because she is wearing a heart monitor. They're monitoring her 24 hours a day for 7 days. And she's got a phone that's attached with it that will notify her and them and things. And also she can enter, if she has something that she feels was an issue, she can enter it in there. It'll say symptoms, and then you hit the button, and then you can either manually enter it or enter it through the system. But anyway, so she's got that going on. She still can't lift anything, do anything much for the next 5 to 7 days. She's got like an 5 to 10 pound. There's 2 different things. One for her wrist because of the IV lines that went in there, the port line that went in there, and one for the groin. So, one says 4 or 5 pounds. The other says 8 to 10 pounds. Don't lift anything over that. So we're just splurging. I don't know. We're just going ahead, trying to get all this crap done. Again, she'll hopefully be good, and it'll be my turn to be feeling lousy again starting tomorrow. Cold sensitive again. I've been nice to be able to drink for the last 2 weeks, but that'll go away tomorrow as soon as that chemo hits the system. Boy, it just is instant. If you drink something cold, the throat just swells up. Anyway, so, we've had a little delay, but we're going to start back again. Hopefully, I'm trying to do more things to keep my immune system better, eat some things that support the immune system better, so that we can not have these delays, because I want to get this thing done as soon as possible. Now we're into March, still on the chemo, so we're into May on the chemo, so we'll be into at least June before surgery. So we'll be at least August or September before, we know where things are. And so anyway, that's where we are now. Again, thank you, and have a great evening. And again, remember, cancer screening saves lives. Good night.